Today I decided to do a challenge where I let a wheel generator choose my makeup. This was so fun to film and really helped me to try old favourites and to see some interesting combinations that I wouldn't have thought of before. First we have primer, and we are using the NYX Face Glue Gripping Primer. This is one of my favourite primers. Not only is it gripping, but it also hydrates the skin. Next we have brows, and we are using the Made by Mitchell Brow Sludge Box. I decided to mix the shades Blondie and Greige to make this shade. I love this product, it's great for mixing and for creative makeup. The formula is lovely, it's creamy but dries down matte. Next we have foundation, and we will be using the Made by Mitchell Truth Tint. I have mine in the shade TT3. This was one of my favourites and I haven't used it in ages. I forgot how much I liked it, so much so that I've put it in my travel bag so I can use it on the go. Next we have concealer, and I will be using the Made by Mitchell Bolt Balm. I'm using the shade BB1. If you've watched any of my recent videos, you'll know that this is a concealer that I've been using a lot lately. I love the blendability and coverage this gives. I'm using this to carve out my brows and to conceal my face. Next we have bronzer, and I will be using the Made by Mitchell Blush Bronzed. The specific shade I'll be using is Caramel Chisel. I haven't used this formula in so long, but I really enjoyed using it today. It blends out beautifully with a brush or a sponge, and it has a satin matte finish. Next we have cream blush, and I will be using the Trinny London Lip to Cheek in the shade Freddy. This is very new to me, it was kindly gifted to me by Sarah. This has a very buildable formula and it applies well with either a brush or a sponge. Next we have setting powder, and I will be using the Wonderskin FYP Filter Powder. This is very new to me, I've only used this a couple of times. It works well to blur and mattify the skin. For powder bronzer, I will be using the Made by Mitchell Curve Case Pressed in the shade Light. I will be using the shade Shady Business, as this is the closest shade to Caramel Chisel in this palette. I love the colour and the formula. It gives such a beautiful bronzed look to the complexion and it blurs the skin. For powder blush, I will be using the NYX Buttermelt Blush in the shade For the Butter. I haven't used this in a while. I remember these being pigmented, so I tried my best to go in with a light hand. But again, I also have blush blindness. Next we have highlighter, and I will be using the Made by Mitchell Blush Glaze. The specific shade I'll be using is Icing Sugar. This is such a beautiful formula, it blends so nicely and it gives the most gorgeous glow. Next we have eyeshadow, and I will be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Novu palette. The shades I'll be using are Fleur, Liberty and Lily. First I'm taking Fleur all over the lid. This blends really well into my bronzer. Next I'm taking Liberty in my outer corner. I'm then taking Lily and applying this on my inner half of my eyes, blending it into Liberty. Next we have eyeliner, and I will be using the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick. The specific shade I'll be using is Pitch Black. I'm applying this to my waterline first, and then I'll go off camera to create a wing as I struggle to do liner. I'm going back in with the highlighter and I'm applying that to my inner corner and brow bone. Next we have mascara, and I will be using the Made by Mitchell Lash Lacquer. The specific shade I'll be using is Brown Lac. This gives a nice lift and length to the lashes, and brown is quite a subtle shade. Next we have lip liner, and I will be using the Made by Mitchell Cupid Case. The specific shades I'll be using are Nosedive and Jump the Gun. This created a beautiful cool toned purple shade. I love this formula, they are creamy and dry down matte. Next we have lipstick, and I will be using the MAC Matte Lipstick in the shade Velvet Teddy. I haven't used this in so long. It's such an OG shade. It pairs so well with the lip liner. Next we have lip gloss or lip oil, and I will be using the P. Louise Stay Shining Lip Oil. The specific shade I'll be using is Strawberries and Cream. It didn't really matter which I use as they aren't really tinted, but I'm enjoying this. This smells so beautiful and feels hydrating on the lips. Finally we have setting spray, and I will be using the NYX Face Glue Setting Spray. I've had this for a few months and it's really great for keeping your makeup in place all day. And here is the finished look. I love how this turned out and it was really fun to film. Maybe I should do this again sometime. Let me know your thoughts.